here we go. So this is going to be my recap, I guess. Just me talking about my experience at World Shoot. And I'm not a huge fan of monologuing here. People know I'm decent at conversation, one-on-one conversation actually, not even multi-group conversation. But um, this is going to be me trying to get through my thoughts on World Shoot. So you're probably going to want to speed this up. I'm a slow talker. That's how it is. Um, so World Shoot, South Africa, 2025. Um, Originally, I was not planning on going, even after qualification, even after being the top seed in the classic division for qualifying. I was not planning on going. South Africa did not sound appealing financially. I was thinking it was not going to be feasible. Anyway, um, I talked to several people. Should I go? Should I not go? It's only every 4 years, so it's like if I don't go, I'm going to be almost 40 by the time the next one rolls around, and who knows if I'll want to go or be qualified then, or even if I did want to go, who knows if I could qualify. Anyway, I talked to several people. A lot of people encouraged me if there was a way I could figure out to make it feasible to go. So I did, and we started planning that trip, looking at flights, tickets, and where we were going to stay. We had Zoom meetings with the U.S. team every so often. Those were both helpful and confusing, both reassuring and um, created some uncertainty. So, yeah. So, we got everything booked. Jeremy, obviously, everybody knows I travel a lot with Jeremy. He plans things a lot better than I do. Uh, so Jeremy planned a lot of like where we were staying. He coordinated with the other guys we were staying with Bob, Saul, and Jay, myself and Jeremy. So we coordinated, found us a place. Stony Hill Farm is a game ranch and farm. They do cattle, and some farming. Uh, anyway, expectations for what this was going to be was, I guess in my head, I figured it was going to be a lot more focused. Like while we were there, like everybody was going to be like friggin' dialed. Like we're just like shooting this match for a week straight. We're doing this match, nothing else. Uh, we're strategizing, we're staying focused. Everything's on point. That's kind of what I had in mind going into it. I didn't really end up being that way, which was good. That would have been a long time to be dialed. But we got there, 16-hour flight, um, and then we stayed at the hotel there. If you've never been to South Africa, it's not like America. It's not like a rich, fully developed industrial country. So there's a lot of poverty there, but within the cities, extremely nice, right? So from my experience, like a lot of the poverty you would see people would be like the outskirts of the cities, right? There'd be a lot of these like tin shack or little villages, dirt villages, areas where people would set up camp and live, and so it's very different, very different. The tip culture is very heavy. I know that's a thing in just a lot of other countries, right? You get outside of America and like the richer European countries, and like tip culture is like you tip everybody. Everybody's looking for a tip all the time. If you ask somebody a question, they want to help you out and they want to get a tip from you. Uh, yeah, tip culture very heavy. So just a little different there. But we got there and we stayed at the hotel the first night, and then we went to our ranch and we got settled in there. We the guys who were staying with us, which I mentioned, we all had like the same schedule, um, meaning like the days that we would shoot, right? Everybody gets a day off, but the days that we would shoot, we would all shoot at the same time, right? I think that's right. So that worked out really nice. We could all carpool to the range at the same time, and and that was really nice. Jeremy and I had two 6:30 a.m. starts, meaning we had to leave our lodging location at like 4:30, 4:45, super early morning. Um, Not too off par for what I normally do, but being in a different time zone that far away, it was quite a bit different. Took a while to get adjusted, but it it was a crazy experience. The match and the flow of the match was so intense, especially that first day. First day of the world shoot, it's a pretty brisk morning. We get to the range at 6 o'clock or earlier, and it's dark and it's pretty chilly. I think it was in the 50s. And, IPSC, you get a lot less walkthrough. So, or not a lot less. You get a 3-minute walkthrough, and you can't go on the stages before that. So, thankfully, I think they kind of take that into consideration. So there's not a ton of like complicated stages. And then they do the 3-2-1 format. So 3 short, 2 medium, 1 long. So every day, I thought that was kind of cool. Every day you would shoot 6 stages. You'd shoot 3 short, 2 medium, 1 long. I think there might have been one or 2 days that differed from that, but for the most part, that's what you shot every day. I like that. I wish they'd do something like that in the USPSA. I really wish they'd do something like that, because I friggin' hate it when we show up to a 12-stage match and it's 12 stages that are 28 to 32 rounds each. I hate it. So, really cool format, but yeah, the pace was absolutely blistering. Like, if you're not pasting, right, you're not having to reset, and you've only got an 8-person squad, I mean, the turnaround times were like 15 minutes of like everybody shoots, especially our first 3 stages. After that, it slowed down a little bit, but it was like nothing I've ever shot before as far as pace goes. There just wasn't time for anything other than like get ready to shoot, go back, clean mags, get ready, reset, load mags, and then you're like on to the next stage. It was crazy. I was so flustered for those first 3 stages. Yeah, just absolutely wild. Yeah, so going into the shooting, what was my plan? What was my plan for World Shoot? And this was a big mental thing for this year. Um, this year, I don't, other than like way back in February, I did really well in February at Western States, but the rest of the year, I basically did not shoot what I thought I was capable of shooting the whole year. Every match I went to, it was not a great year for me shooting, but that doesn't seem to fluster me too much. Generally, I come away from those matches thinking, okay, I just need to clean up these little things. I just need to fix this little thing, and then the performance would have been a lot better, right? So it's not necessarily an excuse. Like, the results are what they are. Yes, I got 3rd place. Yes, I was 10% away from the leader. Whatever, it is what it is, right? But I come away from that thinking I'm capable of more than that. But that's how it was all year. I didn't have any confirmation all of 2025, other than at Western States where I shot well, that I was going to be shooting well at the World Shoot, right? So you got to think, we're going into the biggest match that there is for this sport, and you don't have any confirmation that you're going to do well there. So there was a big mental battle going on with myself there, going into the match, and we got there, and I don't know if you want to call it luck or whatever. I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work going into the match. I went and trained with Jeremy and Brett there in Canyon. I went to New Mexico, and I trained with Tim, and I shot on his range. I shot more rounds than I've shot in many years. which for me is still not a lot. I just don't have time. I don't have the time to load the ammo, and I don't have time to get to the range. So, people think that, like, oh, I just don't have to shoot a lot to do well. Like, I shoot as much as I can. Um, I shoot as much as I possibly can. So I'm like pushing the limit of what I can shoot. Right. I don't know how much I shot this year. I don't really track it. It was less than 20,000 rounds. I can tell you that for sure, for damn sure. So, but I shot a lot. That's a lot for me. I mean, my whole career, I've never shot more than probably 25,000 in a year. So that was a lot for me. Pushing the limits for me, that I haven't done that in a long time. Things were clicking. I was feeling good going into the match, but again, I didn't have any confirmation of that I was going to do well. I hadn't been doing that well. Every match I went to that had competition at it, that was a contending match, someone else good was there, I just didn't perform at. So going into this match, I was just like, well, I mean, this is just another match. We're just going to shoot my game. I'm going to try to play to my strengths, right? What are my strengths? My strengths are consistency. That's about it. Um, Someone else can always be more accurate than me. I've never been like the most accurate shooter. I've never shot the most alphas. A lot of times other people can be significantly faster than me. It just is what it is. I mean, I work hard on those things to get better at them, but the thing that I'm really good at is letting other people mess up. Um, and I know that. I know that that is like one of my strengths, my greatest strength. So going into the match, that was my plan. My plan was try to shoot really good points as best I can, try to be very aggressive, but play to my strength, which is being consistent. I'm not trying for home runs. We're just going to try to show up to every stage brand new, shoot it like it's the first stage. That's what I did. And, as the days would go on, the pressure would build, right? It would be like, okay, well, I had a clean day. Okay, can I stack another clean day? Okay. By the time I got to the last day, it was like the nerves that you have on the first day or two were creeping back in on the last day of the match, because I was like, I had shot so well, so clean. Uh, sure, there were mistakes, but there were no scored mistakes, right? All of my mistakes were unscored errors. A fumble here, a makeup there, um, not shooting an efficient stage plan, something like that. But no scored errors. And so that last day, the pressure started creeping back in, especially the last couple stages. Like, damn, I don't have a penalty or a mic for this whole freaking 30 stage match. Um, so trying to push that away, push that out, and just finish with the same aggression that I started with, but still playing to my strength of consistency. And I did it. I shot the best match of my life. I mean, what I could be faster, I could be more accurate, whatever. But for 30 stages to shoot the way that I did, um, it still blows my mind. Like I've never shot that well, that consistent anywhere ever. Um, so I'm extremely grateful that happened. I was able to do that, and it all came together for me. It feels like just pure luck at this point. But I finished that last stage, realizing that I hadn't pulled a mic or shot a no shoot or penalty anywhere in the match, and I just kind of sat there and kind of let the pressure bleed off. Right. It was a very like surreal type of moment. I just kind of sat there on the ground, taking in what had happened. Um, I didn't look at scores for the entire match, so I really had no idea. We looked at team scores, so we knew that the American team and the Filipino team were very close. We were losing ground to them every day. We were like neck and neck by 1 point. The next day we were down 10 points. The next day we were down 25 points. So we were losing ground to them every day. But other than that, I didn't actually look at those scores. We would have someone else pull them up. It just the pressure of looking at scores is a whole nother piece of shooting a match like this, where you're shooting with your competition and you're seeing their points fluctuate against yours, right? It's mental games. So I just took that out of the equation for me. And then we finished. Like I said, I let the pressure just kind of bleed off. It was kind of this emotional whoosh, if you will. Then it was hugs all around, man. I was hugging everybody. I was like, hell yeah, high fives. We did it. We finished. It was incredible. Oh man, it was incredible to do that thing uh, with that group of people, with my team, Jeremy, Tim, Jay Leese. It was an incredible team. We did a really good job of sticking together, communicating, encouraging. Hey, how'd your run go? Hey, don't sweat it. It's one stage. Get over it. Next stage. Let's do this. High five. Fist bump. Let's go. Get it. It was great. It was phenomenal. Um, so after all that, we ended up our team. We got the gold somehow. I think the Filipino team had a rough last day, and that's just that's how it came down. And we ended up winning by like 7 points. I think the team did, which is crazy, crazy close. So really cool. Really happy for everybody. Um, and then I got second place in the overall, and that was my ultimate goal. I guess the ultimate goal would have been to win it all, right? Um, my my like sort of like realistic goal would be podium finish. That was what I wanted, and we got it. We got a podium finish, second place, silver medal. Very cool. Experience could not have gone better. And obviously, I stayed with the guys, Bob, Jeremy, Jay, and Saul, and we had a crazy experience at the Stony Hill farm, dude. It They treated us like royalty. Um, I could go on about that place for another 30 minutes because I have with some of my other friends and people at work, and I just like show them pictures of this incredible place that we had no idea what we were walking into. Um, we found this place, or Jeremy found it through Google, right? Just Googling places to stay. Found a game ranch. The pictures look pretty nice. Uh, little thatch buildings you stay in. Had a communal dining area. Had like a little swimming pool. It was like a 10 by 20 or something. And then they said that we could shoot out there if we wanted to. So I mean, we had it all. It was the most phenomenal place, and I think that's the only explanation for me as to why I was able to perform so well. Is we'd go and we'd shoot for 2 hours of the day, and then have the rest of the day to do what? Well, some people were sitting in hotel rooms and scared to go outside because they were told they should be scared to go outside. um, but we had this place to go back to, and we had great people from South Africa to talk to and give us advice on where to go and do things, and they catered meals for us, home cooked meals, right? Um, Incredible South African food and desserts. Had a giant fire pit and an outdoor pizza oven, and we each had our own building to stay in, so you had your privacy that you could get away from everybody when you needed to. It was wild. The 3,000 acre ranch. We just would get in the hunting truck with the guides there, and they'd drive us around and look at freaking giraffes and zebras and sable and kudu and ostriches and warthogs, monkeys. Oh my gosh, dude! We could do that whenever we wanted. We tried to keep it a secret because we didn't want people like coming. We didn't want a ton of people coming out there. Um, and disturbing our peace, right? So it was just crazy. The the experience that we had there. We could go back and chill and talk about the match and talk about what we were going through. What was going through our head, the competition, what was happening on your squad. who was pulling shenanigans, what team was pulling shenanigans, right? And yeah, we just created an incredible bond throughout the weeks, right? Stayed there, I think, 11 nights, 10 or 11 nights, and we got to know our hosts very well, and had an amazing experience. They had a little berm. It was really small, but we could set up, 2 or 3 targets in front of this little berm and go shoot as much as we wanted to into that. And that was a great experience, going and getting some strong hand weekend reps in before those days. I think we were in shock of how how incredible the experience was and how well we were treated in the place that we stayed. Um, I know Jeremy and Bob for sure. They did a little bit of hunting while we were there, and it was like they were, from my perspective, they were like broken records, dude. They couldn't stop, like, being thankful. They're like, this is just so incredible. Just thank you so much. It's like, before we left, they're like, hold on, we just need to like take a moment and just be more thankful. And like, I will never ever forget this trip. So phenomenal. And again, that's what shooting and this sport has brought me, is like, oh, I get pretty emotional thinking about it, but it's brought me the most incredible life experiences with the most incredible and genuine people. And I never thought that that would happen. So that's it. World Shoot 2025, South Africa.